but the time is so crazy. Lyricism in rap's gotten so lazy. Shout to those in excellence, rappers with substance, the hip hop's a famine.
Welcome to Stellar Fusion Battles. We got another interview here for you. This is Zach is Nobody interviewing my man 3PFD.
That's me.
He's pantomiming. I don't know what's going on over here. But anyway, we just got a chance to watch 3PFD versus KamBINO, which was Justice versus Injustice. 3PFD played the role of Injustice.
Yep.
And so actually, shout out to Erica, 3PFD's wife. I got to watch it live through FaceTime because I asked and I got special permission. So I got to see it, didn't get to hear everything clearly through FaceTime, watching it while he was actually battling live, but I just got to watch it back off his phone and everything. Dude, it's a dope battle, bringing up some important issues. People kind of on both sides of the fence with some of it, but some good stuff that really make you think about what's going on. But
Yeah.
So anyway, so I just wanted to ask you, I assume you're the one that came up with the topic.
Yeah, I did.
So what kind of, obviously it's really relevant, but what else kind of led to that coming up with that topic that you chose?
Justice versus Injustice. So, what led me to coming up with the topic? First of all, that one thing I would do want to address. Zach said he had watched it live. See, that's a privilege, people, of helping out with Stellar Fusion. So y'all who was like, I don't want to be part of Stellar Fusion, I don't want to do content rap battles, they just make music. Well, you know what? You don't get to watch battles while I have special privileges because you don't concept battle and you don't help out with the league. So, he does. But I love y'all anyway. But as far as on the serious note, what got me to come up with the topic, I definitely wanted something that this was going to be our kickoff battle. It was going to be relevant. So obviously, you've seen, unfortunately, issues around racism, police brutality have really crept up in society again, in the media again. So a lot of justice issues have crept up, and I felt like, the world and people outside of Christ had really spoken on them a lot, and I felt like, the church hadn't been having as much of a voice, and I feel like, if God is God and Jesus, is God and he is all sufficient and he is truly the answer for everything, then he should be the answer for this, and we should be able to speak to it from that perspective. So I definitely wanted to speak to it from that perspective. And also being that, I wanted to have a heavy hitter. I knew we were doing the Vortex event the next week, so I was kind of thinking, who can I get in as a heavy hitter off the bat? I knew, some of the Christians of battle rap that I had worked with had battles booked kind of close to that. So, KamBINO had done stuff when I was on the Slap Battle staff. He had done a concept battle for me, so I thought, all right, let's bring Cam back. That would be dope. And I know Cam does a lot of music around, justice issues.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. What made him the right choice for that role? Because, anybody could do anything, but there's certain things, like I felt when I battled Street Hymns, that was a good role for him, the way that he raps, the style, his content. So what made KamBINO a good choice for the role of Justice?
Definitely his passion. When I texted him and I said, what do you think about Justice versus Justice? He was like, absolutely. He's like, I got a heart for this. He's like, that's perfect. Mm-hmm. So I think his passion around the issue, which when you see the battle, which y'all definitely need to get the pay-per-view and see the battle, you're going to see there's definitely points where, he's not just rapping as a concept. Like, it's emotional, it's real, it's raw to him. And I think that made it real, because when you live something, when you go through something, it's different than just rapping about it from, a head knowledge point of view or from a book knowledge point of view. It's, this personally affects me. I can see myself in this situation. I've experienced it. I've walked with people who've experienced injustice. I have a heart for justice. I have a heart to see things happen. So that's really Cam's ministry. That's what he makes music about a lot anyway, is addressing a lot of relevant social issues. So I thought he was the perfect person, and he definitely killed it.
So Cam was sitting down for your rounds during the battle, mm-hmm. and stood up, after a few bars of his own rounds. So that was maybe kind of lost through us watching it through FaceTime. Explain kind of what he was, because you told me later what kind of the reason for he was doing that. So what was his reason for sitting down during that? Yeah,
and I definitely, he can always jump in and clarify in the comment section if I miss anything, but he did. I texted him about it because I'm putting together, as of the time of this interview, I'm writing a press release about the battle and the Vimeo pay-per-view. And one thing he said that was powerful, I asked him, was the sitting down, was that intentional as part of the role, or was that just kind of, I didn't know if he was like just having back problems, but he said it was, everything was intentional, from the 180 t-shirt, meaning that we want to make a 180. We need to make a 180 and walk away from the way we're walking and toward justice and thinking about it differently as a church and as people as a whole. But he said the sitting was because, you know, it was symbolic to the fact that when justice stands up, injustice is silenced. So it's kind of like if injustice is speaking, you know, injustice can't speak when justice stands up. So physically, if justice was standing up, you know, it was that symbolism saying that injustice can't speak. So if injustice is speaking, injustice is only speaking because justice is sitting down. And I thought when he said that, that's powerful, and that really just can empower us all to stand up for justice, because it's like when we stand up, injustice has to sit down, or has to be silenced, I mean.
So how did Mr. Rebuttals not rebuttal the fact that he was sitting down the whole battle?
Man, how did I miss that? You know what? I think part of it was, well, first of all, being the vice in this battle, I went first, so I'd automatically cut around to rebuttals out, unless I would have done the A-word like pre-rebuttal off the bat, but I was just thinking about getting started. So I kind of didn't rebuttal in my first. In my second, I don't know why I didn't rebuttal in my second. I think, honestly, I was just kind of a little bit enamored by, like, listening to his rhymes, and just, I think I was enjoying it a little too much, honestly, and not really paying attention. You know, I wasn't listening to rebuttal. I was listening just to listen and see how he'd come at it.
Right.
And then, you know, in his second round, which would have been before my last round, I didn't have, he had done some very, you know, emotional and hard-hitting topics, and I didn't want to rebuttal just making a joke. I did a short little rebuttal to tie into what I was talking about, but I didn't want to rebuttal in that case to make a joke, because I felt like he had hit some very serious issues, and I just didn't feel right rebuttaling that and being funny. I kind of wish I would have rebutted the chair thing. You know, when you said that afterwards, you texted me, he's like, why didn't you rebuttal the fact that he's sitting in the chair? I'm like, duh, you know, I don't know why I didn't, but yeah, my mindset just wasn't
well, the
there
real
at the time.
injustice, please stand up.